This is Charles Adler, telling the truth, the uncomfortable truth. Thursday, July 6th was one of the worst days of my life. Canada's former Prime Minister, Stephen Harper, leading an organization comprised of right-of-center parties around the world. It's known as the International Democratic Union, the IDU. He was visiting the city of my birth, Budapest, Hungary, enthusiastically endorsing the government of Hungarian Prime Minister Victor Orban and encouraging right-of-center political parties everywhere, and that would include Canada's Poilievre Conservatives. Harper was encouraging him and others to collaborate with the Orban government. Collaborate. Everything about the statement makes me vomit. Number one, Hungary is the country of my birth. My mother tongue is Hungarian. I speak to my mother in Hungarian. Number two, Canada is my promised land. My most treasured document is my Canadian passport. Canada rescued my mum and pop and yours truly from the communist dictatorship in Hungary in the late 1950s. Number three, my heritage is Jewish. My paternal grandparents and uncles and aunts and cousins have no tombstones, no grave sites. It's impossible to bury remains when they've been baked in an oven in Auschwitz. Number four, I still think of myself as a small c conservative, a progressive conservative. I did vote for Harper and his conservatives 3 times. That obviously has come to an end. Speaking of Hungarians and speaking to Hungarians a year ago, the Prime Minister, the guy that Harper is endorsing, said, "We are not a mixed race, and we do not want to become a mixed race. Countries in Europe," he said, "where European and non-Europeans mingle are no longer nations." Victor Orban was referring to Germany, Britain, France. He might as well have been referring to Canada, because all of us accept Muslim immigration, something that Orban opposes because he calls Muslims toxic, calls them poison. Orban's favorite bogeyman happens to be Jewish, George Soros, Hungarian-born Jewish financier with a U.S. passport. There are billboards of George Soros everywhere in Hungary, put up by the government of Victor Orban, the one endorsed by Stephen Harper, put up by Victor Orban's government, warning people about Soros and presumably people like Soros. Victor Orban accuses him of wanting to defile Hungary and Hungarians' Christian majority by supporting Muslim immigration. 5 years ago, in a widely covered speech, Victor Orban is referenced by right-wing populists around the world for declaring, and I'm quoting, "We are fighting an enemy that is different from us, not open but hiding, not straightforward but crafty, not honest but base, not national but international. Does not believe in working, but speculates with money, does not have its own homeland, but feels it owns the whole world." Look, there are no two ways to look at that language from Viktor Orban, because those of us who have studied history know it is traditional Jew hatred, anti-Semitism. I don't know what Stephen Harper is thinking, but I do know he is a thinker, and there is none of what I'm saying that he's unaware of, and yet he endorsed Orban anyway, wants Canadian conservatives to respect Orban, and to use Harper's word, to collaborate with him. I want to remind you that Viktor Orban's government a decade ago also banned same-sex marriage, actually rewrote the Constitution to ban same-sex marriage. Don't know what Poilievre's opinion of that would be. It has been 3 days since Harper made his endorsement of Viktor Orban's authoritarian government in Europe. Stephen Harper is Pierre Poilievre's mentor. We have not heard from Poilievre on any of this. It's been 3 days. This is not comfortable for any of us to hear, but that does not stop it from being true. This is Charles Adler, telling the truth, the uncomfortable truth.